Hi guys, I will show you now how to break through art block with this simple sketching exercise that will boost your confidence and artistic skills and flow and your art procrastination. It helps me a lot, so I hope it will help you too. So here are examples of another quick and fun and easy way to for sketching that I use a lot. I use every day. In fact, I switch these three types of sketches. So for example, I use this black and white, gray. Let's say black, white, and gray sketch technique. Then I use the other version of this, like so. So we have only black and white, high contrast, quick mark sketches. So yeah, let's start. Let's jump into it, and I will explain why and how to do it and how to start. So for the first, when you open Photoshop or other application that we like to draw, try to be zoomed out from the canvas, because this is, I found it very helpful to be zoomed out while we are drawing. So let's start from the background. And of course, you can choose whatever subject you would like to draw, but don't be concerned about, especially when you are starting this exercise. Don't be concerned if it should be this environment. Probably, I'm more focused on the environmental-ish style of illustration and concept art, so I tend to start with environment vibe in my mind, but you don't have to. So the most important thing is to try thinking the shapes, big, medium, small. Try to find cool composition, and you can be, Oh, okay. Another thing, you don't have, you try not to control Z or erase. Let's focus on just putting interesting marks on the canvas. And this is the point of this exercise, that we stop overthinking, stop questioning ourselves. It's not time for this. This is the pre-sketch almost. I don't know how to call it, because sometimes I found that sitting to the sketches makes problems, because we want to create cool sketches, and the sketch should be dirty, ugly, and fun to work. So it's like doodling, like notes. So you can see now that I made some random marks, and it can be, of course, environment, because I can see the silhouettes of people, but you can then later review this and see other shapes. So okay, let's go for the next one. I color pick the background. Now it has a different structure, texture. I use color dynamics setting in the brush settings. You can play with brightness, saturation, and hue, and foreground, background, jitter. So probably in other applications for drawing you have these options also, but I don't know, because I use Photoshop only for drawing. And I use mouse. So why mouse? Because I found that detachment from painting is very important. You don't care too much about your results in this stage, and you try only come with try to invent really cool shapes that work, that are, interesting for eye. They have some cool quality for looking. So here, for example, I'm using background color to indicate some, I don't know, environment. This could be whatever. Now we can make bigger, smaller brush to find I don't know, something. But I am now at this point, I'm doing too much, so I'm moving on, and try to be not connected to what you are creating, because it's you don't want to start feeling attachment to the results of this exercise. We want to create a habit of just putting marks and free, not thinking. I don't know how it's called. To be really creative and intuitional during our painting process. So it can translate later for our processes of making better, more pronounced, more developed illustrations. So I found this is very helpful for me because I tend to freak out and go into procrastination mode. I tend to watch tons of tutorials that are really great, but I don't draw. I don't paint. So this can help to just I don't think with of course I'm using my brain, but I try to focus in on marks. I use I use crude instruments like mouse because and brush without pressure sensitivity to put interesting marks on the canvas because it's really liberating in our way of working and painting, because now we have this really heavy realistic approach in, let's say, concept art community and digital art and illustration. But I found that on the and I, of course, I'm sharing it with you because I am trying to figure out my way of working, let's say, level up my skills, maybe reinvent my art style, because I found that these compositional quick sketches are really cool, and I'm thinking how I can use them later for example, building 3D scenes, building more colorful, more realistic artworks, but without losing the quality of the quick sketch. So I am learning right now with you while I'm talking, while I'm painting. Okay. I'm sorry, bless. Okay, let's move on for an. Okay, let's try to make. And of course, this medium smoke principle, I try to use it. I have it back in my mind, but I don't know if I'm doing it correctly or not. But you can also treat the background, middle ground, maybe background, middle ground, and foreground as this kind of principle. 1, 2, 3. Try to for example, if you have this kind of shape, try to be centered, because when you are posting it online, you can then have composition that it fits. Of course, you can have some kind of not symmetrical compositions, but this is my idea now. Okay, so the next one, and then I try usually every day. I try to make 20 of these sketches, or this kind of black and white sketches, or colorful sketches like I showed, like there is on my first video on my channel. So please check this out, and if you want to watch and see how to approach making color compositional sketches, it's kind of similar but different. So please, if you are interested, so check this out, and I'm sure you will find something useful in this video also. So okay, so let's go. Now I'm color picking, and so now it's not black and not is gray, but it's happy accident, as Bob Ross, yes, this painter, was talking, that we are like trying to paint something, and then some new thing emerges from because of, let's say, mistake, but we are just okay. So we have some kind of strange environment, strange composition, and okay, let's move for the next one. So this is basically the principle of this exercise. We are trying to create interesting compositional marks, but using free values for starters. So we are using background value like lighter white, maybe not white, but something like that. Then we are using medium ground, maybe big shapes from. Okay, sorry, I just Control Z, so I made a mistake. I try not to make this mistake. Try not to Control Z. Try not to erase your composition. Try to be as much careless about the process of creating this as you can. Of course, when you start, you can be like doodling, but please don't. Just leave for another. If you start feeling attachment for your composition, just move for the next one. I started digging it too much, and every frame should be, I don't know. It takes around 30 seconds even for me, but you can draw it if you because different people paint or draw in different speeds. So I recommend it making it very fast, but of course don't be too fast if you don't like working fast. But try. I think it's good. It's a great exercise to be fast in this case, because it's not cool, it's not fancy picture, it's just something strange, some marks that we put on canvas. They look cool, of course, because we try to make them very graphic, very high contrast, so we can then, based on this let's say pictures, this kind of thumbnails, we can then, for example, I want to create some cool environmental illustration or concept art, maybe illustration, because we only want some epic cool environment and not maybe we don't want to think for now about great design language and whatsoever. But for this painting, this kind of thumbnails are great. So let's say we want to make some cool environment, right? Some epic environment, and we are trying just blast some marks on the canvas, and we will later review them, and maybe it will be in a way of our environment. If we don't have idea about what I'm drawing, now I can see something that emerges from these sketches, like here. I can see maybe as a wreck of a ship on the lake in some kind, or in the desert, I don't know. But it could be whatever. It could be some strange stone structure or something. Okay, move for the next, because I started to be too much invested. I started to be invested too much in this composition. So it's not right. Okay, so we have too much red here. I don't want this. Okay, now we have gray. We can of course use sliders of colors. You don't see them because I have my face here, but you know what I'm talking about. So we can make some background marks to see further, use this kind of atmospheric perspective. This simple shape sketching and compositing with simple sketches is a technique that is used for painters in environment painting, and maybe in painting in general. You use masses of shapes to find first cool composition, and then you dress these masses for when we are making details. Let's say later we will, for example, create painting from it. Okay, I'm doing something here, and later, let's imagine that we see here a building, maybe some kind of Star Warsy outpost. Okay, so we have antennas, we have this kind of some things, and some small dudes walking around. So later, when we make this composition, maybe in 3D, I don't know, maybe the next step could be we can zoom in so here. We can zoom in and then try to maybe, I don't know, make some I don't know, some shapes, maybe cut, maybe design something like that. Some building, I don't know what is it. Yes, this building. So we can make design. Then we can, for example, separate these layers like 1, 2, 3, 4, and use photo bashing techniques. Like you can use some texture from, let's say, buildings, some or whatever, then you can use some textures or some trees or sky in the background, and later we can probably use this. Oh my god! I thought my keyboard was blocked, but no, so it's okay. So yeah, so we can use this as a guideline and then starting point for our illustrations. So so look how great it is. I have now after I don't know how long I'm drawing this. 15 minutes. After 15 minutes of course I'm talking, so I'm painting slower than normally, but after 15 minutes we have something interesting on our canvas. So try this technique and see for yourself that it's really cool. You can, you know, and the zoom out aspect of this. So why we are zoomed out from our canvas. Look, we can see graphic shapes. The brain first, what we see as human beings, we see shapes that are high contrast shapes. That's why on the movies, when you try to take keyframes or frames from the movie, you always see this kind of stuff, like the characters, the environment, and so on and so on. The design later, the design of the even shapes of buildings and so on are maybe reflecting this high contrast, like big groups of big space, then small space, the dots, and so on and so on. So okay, let's go. Okay, next one. This one is done. So try to. Okay, some dog is barking outside or what? Doesn't matter. We must paint even if we have some kind of disturbances. We must be trained to do everything. We must create even if we are distracted by disturbed by some noises or. Okay, so look, the interesting composition. We are just painting, just not thinking, just trying. I don't know. I read a book about some book, okay, and there was a passage. I think it's Umberto Eco's Prague Cemetery, or I don't know. There's this really cool novel, but the guy was. I remembered one thing. Maybe it's not the most important thing from the book, but it's about how the guy is writing his journals, and he says something that when he don't have idea and don't know how to start writing, he just focuses on his belly, and like going down from his conscious mind and starts to write letters. And this is a great example of how to approach this exercise and approach more defined drawings and paintings. So just try to be detached as much as possible you can, and then let's go take a lift and go down somewhere to your throat or to your belly. I don't know where you feel is the right place, but just go down from your brain. And this technique, I really like it because this technique is described in many spiritual practices like meditation and others, like I don't know. I was reading last time lately about this out of body experiences and this conscious dreams. So this also technique that you are focusing on the, let's say, your throat and try to visualize something. And this is interesting because you are entering in this kind of subconscious, probably some subconscious mind. And so art has a lot of common with this kind of practices, because we are taking our inspirations from, I don't know, some kind of our ideas. Our visual library is located somewhere less. It's not in astral realms, but let's say it sounds cool. So why not? Okay, so let's go to next picture. I will finish. I will fill the whole page. So we have one more row, and we will wrap up. So try. It's A4 maybe something bigger. I try to make it horizontal to be better seen on the screen and in the recording. So 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 yeah, this is the technique I use every day. It's really cool. I try to figure out how to use maybe more how to use this approach with shapes, with this kind of composition in 3D. For example, I use 3D a lot in my professional work and my 3D code, Blender, and so on, constructing the compositions. And I try to also think lately. I try to think how can I incorporate this way of thinking, because for a longer time I didn't make sketches. I said, oh, I will make them in my head, okay, and just go for a finish illustration. Sometimes it worked, but I can see how probably I was wrong about this, because sketches are very important. You can have fun. You can have, I don't know, really ideas that come to you from nowhere, because you don't care about the results. Also, next tutorial I will record is how to make this kind of sketches, maybe not black and white but colorful, using very very simple shapes in Blender, and how you can concept sketch or sketch. It's more like composition sketches in Blender, or maybe finding cool graphic compositions, because it's very I found that I really like this kind of graphic look. I wanted to be very realistic artist. I of course, everyone, the tutorials where you learn tons of hours how to render perfectly something, and so on and so on. But I found that, okay, maybe I could mimic this stuff, but when the composition, when it works, the simple one, look, these simple shapes are just enough. And if we can maintain this shape language till the end of our composition and our illustration, then I think it's the goal for us to just be as so probably I'm thinking right now, like, if I want this shape to be this should be final illustration at this point. So I don't know, maybe we build assets. Let's say this is some kind of some rocks, or this is lake, maybe the desert, whatever. There is some kind of ruins, or let's say some kind of monolith, maybe some base, and we want to build this asset and try to be maybe as much as we can with the spirit of this shape. So we build this, like, crop this maybe overpaint, and then probably it could work. I will try this technique later, because I think this is it's going somewhere, let's say, with this. I always have problems with, I don't know, let me know if you have problems with finishing the illustrations or finishing the concept art, because I like to be in this phase of free drawing, just inventing stuff, and then I'm bored when I have to render. So I want to find some kind of, maybe not new it's not nothing new, but I'm exploring the possibility of just trying to be the more expressive, more based on shape and graphic language design, not design, shape language design, and probably we can escape we can avoid the need of being, just rendering super realistically. Of course, there is a place for everything, and I think there is a must. It's must to just, you can. Sorry, I'm focusing too much on painting. We need to be able to render, of course, but I think the most important thing is the basis, fundamentals. So this shape language, I'm just exploring for now the shape and graphic design aspects, and I'm learning by trying and by practicing the compositional sketches. So maybe next time more, or next level will be, maybe perspective. I was practicing perspective. Of course, if you are using C3D, you are learning perspective somehow by looking and practicing it. So So yeah, but you know, like aerial perspective, when we see the gray things in background, and the closer we are, they are more contrast. So this is the idea that we use in games, in films. So in paintings we are using this technique also. Okay. The last two images. Okay, so I hope this was helpful for you, and I really recommend you trying this technique. There is also another technique that is more simple than this, and I will just show you. I will finish this drawing, and I will show you what I mean by saying the more simple technique than you can ask me, wow, but what can be more simple than this? But there are some more simple things. Okay, so we have some sheep flying through the fields. Okay, so I will finish this quickly. Okay, just blast some marks on the canvas. Don't care what I see. Just boom. I don't want to say it's finished for now, but okay, just something. Maybe we can make this shape here. I don't know what is this, but okay, boom. Something strange. Strange, and some maybe cool composition, maybe not cool. Okay, so this is the result of our exercise. Try be very fast in this exercise, maybe 30 seconds to 1 minute on each small frame. Be zoomed out. I think it's 33% of zoom out in Photoshop. Then I'm sitting back in my computer. We use marquee tool. Then we can paint with big bold brush. We can use color dynamics and try to make cool marks. And we have a lot of inspirations. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20 pictures every time. Okay, so this is the result of today practice. And so we have something like that. And then this exercise, I will show you in the next episode how to create this kind of much more simpler and yet also very important, very cool exercise to create really interesting compositions. And we can use in this manner that we can use overpaint, maybe this use on the multiply, and use some kind of mask and paint inside the black shapes, or we can even use photo brushing technique. I will show you in the next episode. I will make these illustrations and then pass a part 2 or 3 of evolution of this kind of approach. So yeah, so this is it for today, and I hope you'll really liked it. So please consider subscribing the channel. Please give me like or write a comment if you like. Write what would you like to see or talk in the next episode. And okay, have a great day, and bye bye.